Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily AMG and welcome to my October TBR. I never do a TBR video. If you were one of the 7 people who watch this, you will know that I've never done a TBR video. Or maybe I have and I don't even remember because I never really plan out what I'm going to read because I'm such a mood reader. But you know what? October just has its own mood in general. And so in September, the last few days of September, I kind of scoured my TBR or my shelves, my personal library of books that I know that I haven't gotten to. And I tried to pick out the ones that had those feels that I just wanted to really delve into and envelop myself with for a full 31 days. And so I'm bringing you an actual October TBR right now. So let's get into the physical books that I have that I want to read during the month of October. So first up, I have Dracula by Bram Stoker. I love vampires. This is one of my most favorite vampire books. I absolutely love the story of Dracula. I have reread it the last 3 years since I have read it. Since I first read it, I've read it every Halloween season since. And I plan to continue to do that. I mean, do you see my bat nails? It makes me so happy. So this is a quick, easy read, and it's just so excellent, so outstanding. I love it. If you've never read Dracula, it is told in journal entries and letters, and it is just phenomenal. It will just absolutely give you all of those vibes that you are wanting for October. Okay, then I have another classic that this has been on my list to read for decades. Let's just say decades, because that's how Dracula was. And then I finally read it. I was always thinking I am not a horror fan, so I kind of thought I love vampire books, but I thought that perhaps Dracula would be more on the horror side of the genre, I guess. I just thought that it was going to be far more scary than what I really wanted to read, and I was a little fraidy cat, so I'm so glad that I ended up finally getting to it a couple years ago, and that this will be my 3rd time reading it, and I just absolutely love it. It's one of my most favorite books. So the next book that I really want to get to, because I have also put this off for decades, thinking that perhaps it was going to be too scary for me. I'm a huge fan of Gene Wilder's Young Frankenstein, but that's not necessarily what Mary Shelley has done here. I don't know. I even bought a new edition this year. This is how much I really want to read this. I love this. I love the blue, and I love that it's shiny and it matches my house. That's not a reason to read it, but that was the reason why I picked up this particular edition. Anyway, so Frankenstein by Mary Shelley is on my list this year. Me and that monster are gonna get checked off the list. Okay, another classic that I want to read, and I have had the same situation. I have seen probably a majority of movies and TV shows and etc. that have been inspired or revolve around Sherlock Holmes. I have never actually read, I don't know, I'm just going to say, even if I've read a short story, I've not read a full bound volume of Arthur Conan Doyle's work. So I am going to be reading this in the month of October as well. Okay, so that, I think, for my physical books are the only classics that I want to read. Okay, so next up I have If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, and this has been on my radar since Allie spoke so very highly of it and has since included it in a lot of tag videos, etc. She speaks such high praises of this book. And then I think I saw maybe Lala say that this is kind of a more YA version of The Secret History by Donna Tartt. And The Secret History by Donna Tartt is one of my absolute most favorite books ever. And so it's different, but then I can definitely see where she's saying that there are similarities. So this follows a Shakespeare troupe that ends up within a murder investigation. There is a murder of, I think, one of the troupe members, and the other ones are trying to cover it up. And one person, I believe, takes the blame, and then it's like 10 years later, he's out of prison, and I think the arresting officer wants to know, like, I think you kind of just took one for the team, like, what was the real story here? So I definitely am going to get to this in October. The next two, I don't know that I will get to. I don't know that I'll get to these in October, but I want to do another Ruth Ware. I have In a Dark, Dark Wood, and actually Chelsea, and I'll try to remember to leave her video down below, but she and a couple of her friends are doing a Friday night-a-thon readathon. So every Friday night every Friday in October is going to be the start of a new book, and Ruth Ware's The Death of Mrs. Westaway. The Death of Mrs. Westaway is actually October 12th, so not this Friday, but the next Friday. And then the next Friday, I believe, is going to be If We Were Villains. Did I call this If We Were Liars earlier? It's just, they're so close. But If We Were Villains and The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware are on that readathon that I want to, that buddy read that they're doing on Twitter that I want to participate in. And so I don't know that I'll get to this, but I definitely want to do another Ruth Ware. I've only read The Woman in Cabin 10, and I hear that The Death of Mrs. Westaway is like probably her best one yet. Okay, the next book that I have that is a tentative is The Rules of Magic by Alice Hoffman. This was on my radar last Halloween season, and I don't remember that I think last Halloween I was rereading the Harry Potter series, so I didn't do a lot of other, because that takes up the month. So this year I'm not rereading Harry Potter, and so I definitely wanted to fill my October with other vibes, other reads that give me those same, whatever I'm trying to say. Okay, so there's that. Now on to the ones that I already have purchased on other audio places. So we will go to Scribed. On Scribed, I have picked up Sadie. You can't even see that. Sadie by Courtney Summers. This is about a girl whose sister is murdered and she's seeking revenge. And then I think there's a podcast that comes out, and it's kind of one of those like, we're going to try to solve this unsolved case, but really Sadie, I don't know if Sadie's the sister that's on a rampage or if Sadie is the sister that was murdered, but she's like, oh, I'm taking this into my own hands. So I've heard like outstanding things from people that I super trust their recommendations. And then speaking of that, I also, Lauren from Lauren in the Books had done a video on Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow by Jessica Townsend. And so she said this is like, it gives you those same kind of like, it has nothing to do with Harry Potter or Hogwarts or whatever. It just gives you that same kind of first reading of Harry Potter vibes, which I think we all are just forever on the search for. So that sounds incredible. Another one that I've added to my list that Allie had talked about. Allie is actually doing a readathon of this entire series and has been since maybe late August. And that is the Cirque du Freak series. The first one is called A Living Nightmare, and that is by Darren Shan, one of those. And then I also picked up on Hoopla, The Living Nightmare, and I got Nevermore on Overdrive. And then I also picked up Truly Devious. This is by Maureen Johnson. I got that also on Hoopla. And this is about a murder that happens at a private school in Vermont. So private school in Vermont during the fall, that already gives you like total autumnal feels, right? So throw in a murder, throw in some, it almost has that historical fiction element of you're going back between the 30s and present day, and you're like hopefully solving this murder. I know that this is a series. I think there might be 3, so I'm not entirely sure if we're going to get the full story. I don't know that we're going to be able to like solve this murder in one felt swoop in this one book. But anyways, it also has, it comes so highly praised. And then I also picked up Alison Brooks' Death Overdue, because a cozy mystery during this time is just absolute perfection. And so, yeah, that is kind of like what I have on my radar right now to pick up. I am also doing Spookathon, and so I don't really know. Spookathon, so Toil and Trouble is the like buddy read book, and that is a collection of short stories about women. I believe it's about witches. Oh my god, it's called Toil and Trouble. Wow. Anyways, yes, it's 15 tales of women witches, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. So I will definitely do a separate Spookathon TBR video closer to time. I believe Spookathon starts like on the 15th. And so I still have, you know, 10, 11 days before 12, 13. I don't know. Days before then. And I don't really know. I've said this so many times, and I'm sorry. I know not a lot of people have this opportunity, but I am able to listen to books at my job. And so that's such a blessing. So I don't know where I'll be by the 15th, what I will have read, and I'm off for the next few days, and I've already finished 2 books, so I plan to sit down, especially with like Frankenstein, and I had put on my Insta story for everyone to pick my next read, which will actually be my 98th read of the year, and that was my Goodreads reading challenge goal. And so tomorrow I could potentially hit goal, and I'm so excited. And now I can't wait to see like how far past goal I go, because it's only October. I'm so excited about that. I've never hit my Goodreads goal. I'm close, but not, I've never reached it before, and obviously I'm going to reach it tomorrow probably. So I'm super excited about that. But I will definitely do a Spookathon TBR video closer to time. And yeah, and at that time, maybe I'll do like an October what I've read to this point, since I've done a TBR video and I've never done a TBR video. And so, talking too much. But anyways, yeah, so maybe I'll do like a mid-month wrap up for you to see what all I was able to accomplish in the first 12, 13 days. And then we'll get into Spookathon. And I plan to vlog. If nothing else, I will just come to the computer, tell you what I'm reading, tell you how I feel about it whenever I am done, and then do that for all 7 days of the readathon. I'm hoping to get a good bit of reading done. But yeah, I really love watching reading vlogs for these readathons, and so I think I'm gonna just finally just say screw it. I'm throwing my hat in the ring. So anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.